Hey everybody, this is Dr. Jeff. This is video 3 of 3. Today we're talking about the benefits, some of the benefits that go along with fasting. Don't mind me, I'm just sitting in the park. I've riding my bike back to work. I just had my juice lunch and feeling really good on day 3. Looking forward to having dinner tonight. One of the great things about fasting is when you go back to food, oh, it tastes so good. Your taste buds become resensitized, and the simplest of foods are wonderful on the palate. But today I want to talk about benefits of fasting. And the science behind fasting is fledgling. It's really only getting started. It's been around for a couple decades, but there's not a great deal that we know for certain. But there is research that shows the benefits behind fasting. I want to go back in time and history, and I want you to think about, for many thousands and thousands of years throughout history, human beings have been forced into involuntary fasting throughout the ages. Because if we go back to the days when we were hunting and gathering, even when the agricultural revolution hit, there was periods of time when it was famine, when we didn't have food, and we would have been forced into fasting involuntarily. And this would have gone on for many thousands of years, right? We were hunting, gathering, we couldn't find anything. Our bodies would have adapted over time to periods of having no food. So it makes sense to me that fasting and going for periods without food would be very good for us, or would at least be something that our bodies would be used to and would be able to benefit from. So what are some of the benefits? Well, the first thing is when we're not consuming a great deal of food, we're going to strip a lot of weight, and we can drop a lot of fat in a hurry because the body's going to dig into those fat reserves. So the fat gets burned off. But what also is happening is our body is going to strip away a lot of inflammation. It's going to strip away a lot of the fat, and it's going to help remove a lot of toxicity from our body. It's going to give our livers a chance to heal. It's going to give our liver a chance to really detoxify and get rid of a lot of toxicity that builds up in our life from environmental toxins, foods that we consume that have a lot of toxicity in them. Inflammation that builds up in our body will be stripped away from foods that we eat, medications, chronic injuries, and this gives our body really a chance to heal. When we get rid of inflammation, it's a really good thing for our body, being in an anti-inflammatory state naturally. So that's one of the great positive benefits. I know that fasting has been used by a lot of natural health practitioners over the years. I had a friend in the United States who was a client, and she was diagnosed with cancer, a secondary to leukemia. She had leukemia, went through chemotherapy. She didn't do very well on the chemo. It really knocked her around. She got diagnosed with cancer, and they said, well, you've got about a 15% chance of survival. And when she heard that number, she's like, no, I can't do it again. So she walked out and she started consulting with some natural therapists, and one of the treatments that was used to help her fight the cancer was periods of prolonged fasting. And she's still alive today, thank God. But I can't give all the credit to fasting, but we do know that it is beneficial to help give the body a chance to repair itself. Some of the other benefits that are showing up scientifically today, we see that good for the heart, cardiovascular function. Cholesterol levels get stabilized when we fast. Triglyceride levels get stabilized. So the cardiovascular system has a real chance to repair and recover when we go through fasting. And there's some evidence in science that shows that the immune system, it has a chance to really function at a higher level and repair immune cells when we fast as well. So the immune system is given an opportunity to work better and more efficiently, which supports the fasting for my friend who was diagnosed with the cancer. We see that it also has great benefits for brain activity and function. One of the things that they have identified is there's an increase in endorphins when we fast, which are part of the feel-good mechanism within our bodies. I have always loved fasting, particularly when we get beyond the first couple days. The first couple days can be very, very difficult, but once we get beyond that second day, we really start to settle in, and we become very still. Our body doesn't have a great deal of energy, so we conserve a lot of our body energy, but we become much more in tune with our thoughts. We become much more in tune with our environment, much more in tune with the stressors around us, and we have an opportunity then to identify how destructive stress can be in our life and really work through it. I've had a lot of wonderful experiences deep into fasts that have helped me gain a greater understanding of who and what I'm about, and overcoming stressors and crises that I've experienced in my life. So these are some of the wonderful benefits. I'd encourage you to, as I mentioned on the first video, look at doing some soul work, maybe some journaling, do some meditation. Really powerful when we fast. I don't encourage everybody to fast. If you are pregnant, you don't want to fast. With children, I don't recommend children fast either. But it's something that you just need to take a plunge. If you're struggling with different issues in your health, it can be a great healing opportunity for you and your body. And the first thing that you got to do is just make up your mind that you're going to go for it. For real healing, 3 days is okay, but if we want to really dig deep into healing our body, we need to go well beyond 3 days. You can look at maybe doing a week or even 2 weeks worth of fasting. And if you have questions on it, if you have concerns, or you want to investigate it more thoroughly, talk to me. Shoot me an email. I'd be happy to discuss some of the wonderful benefits that we experience as we fast. So this is Dr. Jeff signing out on day 3 of our fast. Have a wonderful day, folks.